was like, are these tears? Is this sweat? I don't know.
I can't
I'm
tell the difference. I'm Autumn Brown, a queer science fiction writer, a theologian, a mother of dragons, and a healing justice facilitator for social movements living in rural Minnesota.
And I'm Adrienne Marie Brown, author of Emergent Strategy, co-editor of Octavia's Brood, writer, facilitator of Black liberation work, auntie extraordinaire, doula, and pleasure activist living in Detroit.
And this is How to Survive the End of the World.
Our podcast about learning from apocalypse with grace, rigor, and curiosity.
Oh, hi, Adrienne.
Hi, my sister. It is so good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear your voice, too.
It sounds like you're having a pretty chill summer, actually.
Your
voice sounds chill.
I am. And that is basically why we are here today, is to let our listeners know that we're about to go on break. We are taking a break for the summer. We're taking a break, and y'all should too.
Everybody should take a summer
We wanted
break.
you to know that we were taking a break, that we want that we're taking July and August off. And we wanted to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing while we're on break.
Yes, Autumn, I want to know, what are you going to be listening to and watching? Are you going anywhere? Is there any special work you're up to? Like, what is up for you this summer?
Let's see. Okay, in terms of what I'm going to be listening to a lot of this summer, I'm going to be probably listening to Love Happy and everything else on Jay-Z and Beyonce's new album. I'm also going to be, I think, listening to a lot of Cardi B. And a lot of SZA. I'm just really feeling like all of the fierce Black femme energy right now. That's like kind of what I'm trying to fill my life up with.
Excellent.
In terms of other stuff I've got going on this summer, I do have, I'm taking a week-long trip to Vermont in July to be with all of my Aorta co-workers. Every year we meet up for a week somewhere and spend like a week together visioning and skill sharing and planning our business and building with each other. And so this year we are all converging at a retreat center in Vermont with all of our families. So I'm also bringing Genjo and all three of the kids with me, and everyone's bringing their partners and kids and significant others and friends and beloveds. So that's going to be super fun. Living the dream. And then in August, I'm going to Alaska for a dear old friend's wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. So that should be like pretty fresh. And then otherwise, I think the main piece of work that I'm really considering for this summer is just figuring out how to make space to finish revising my novel so that I can send it to my readers. I've had like a major delay in my revisioning process because of a really heavy workload all spring. So I'm really hoping it happens, and I'm really hoping to carve out some space for it this summer if possible. So that's what I've got on deck for the summer, and just also planning to be in the lake every single day that I can be, because that's the absolute best part of living in Minnesota is like consistent access to gorgeous, pristine, fresh lake water that's wonderful to swim in. And all of my kids know how to swim without life jackets now, so it's like on point. Like Marae just figured it out, so now everyone can swim without life jackets.
She just figured it out.
She just did it because she's so brave and amazing. So
great.
so it's like it's a different life. What are you up to this summer?
I am. Well, first of all, I'm excited about your summer and excited that there's going to be, I'm like, your summer sounds sweet. And I'm also excited that there's going to be overlap and that I have at least 2 times that I'm going to get to see you in the next couple months.
I know.
So that just feels like a big gift to me. And then I just was looking at my calendar, and I basically have eating watermelon and swimming on there every single day.
That is so smart.
I thank you. I've been buying like big quantities of watermelon, and like people keep catching me and being like, "Is that your dinner?" And I'm like, "It is.
It is actually
absolutely
it's the perfect
fine."
dinner.
You know, I'm like, you know, it's one of those things where you're just like, I don't care what stereotypes are. I don't care what's out there. Like, it's a perfect food, and it's what I need for summer.
Stereotypes always exist for a legitimate reason at the end of the day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the reason Black people like watermelon is because we're smarter than everybody.
Exactly.
So, and then also swimming at like every place I land, just trying to get myself into a body of water ASAP. Mm-hmm. In terms of what like the popular culture, what is pleasing to me right now, you know, I'm really like falling back on Facebook and Twitter, and just like leaning into Instagram in terms of where I want to spend my social media allowance. And I really do have an allowance. Like, I'm giving myself like, you only get a little bit of time each day. It's the summer. Like, really tap out of like pull out of the pattern just a little bit and actually be out in the world. So that's feeling really good because I'm like, oh, Facebook has really become stress book. So I'm just like, I don't want to sign on there. I'm getting stressful news in other places. Thanks.
Yeah.
So I'm watching a couple of things. So I'm watching Attack on Titan, which is this
What's that?
really super dramatic anime about these giant humans that are attacking like normal, regular, non-giant humans. And I don't know what else to call it, but it's like really, I like it because it's just super emotionally dramatic. Like, it's just sort of like, everything matters about right this second. You know, like,
oh my
it's
God,
just like
I love
nothing
that.
it's just great. It's just sort of like, yes, let's just be on 10 all the time. So there's a new, I think season 3 premiere is coming out this summer. And so I'm like trying to catch up on everything. I'm also still deep in my Steven Universe journey, which is feeling so good. Steven Universe feels like when it feels like all is lost, then I turn on Steven Universe and I'm like, oh, right, there's magic and gems and it's all going to be okay. There's queerness and like queer unicorns and pink lions and like it's all going to be fine. And then I'm looking forward to Boots Riley has made a film.
That's right.
Called Sorry to Bother You, right? So I'm like waiting. I'm like, okay, when is going to be my chance to watch that? Like that
it's coming out this month, exciting. Right?
I think it's coming out this month, and I think it's coming out on like fairly wide release, and then will be like even further. So that feels really exciting. And then I'm also trying to figure out my friend Alana Devich-Cyril, who's been battling late stage cancer for the last couple of years now. It made a documentary called My Life Interrupted.
Wow.
And I'm really hoping that I can get a screening of it here in Detroit and have her like video in somehow to do an artist talk with us about that. So all of that feels really exciting. And this week I'm going to see the Star Wars costume exhibit at the DIA here in Detroit. Yeah, so I'm super geeked about that.
Oh, I'm really jealous. I'm really jealous.
You should be.
I feel like actually because I just went. I knew that Solo was going to be bad. I went to see it in the theaters anyway.
I thought it was good, but I'm biased.
Yeah, you must be because it was terrible. But I feel like going to see that really costume exhibit would probably help resurrect something for me. I think for me, I was sort of like, there's no reason for this to be bad, and that's why I'm offended by it. It's sort of like, like if they were working with the kind of budget that they had in the 80s, like I could have understood it. But I'm like, you have your pick of writers. You have your pick of everything. What the fuck just happened here? And also, why is the timeline all thrown off? Like, this doesn't even make sense.
Well, I had someone who was just sort of like, I'm really confused as to why the whole story is basically just like only the things we've ever heard about Han Solo and not like, you know, just additional things. And I was like,
anything else. Literally anything else.
I loved it, but I loved it because I was like, that's what Star Wars, I mean, to me, that's what the franchise has mostly done, has been like, here's the initial story and like, here's a little bit about this part or this part. It's like, they're like, we literally use the same lines and storylines over and over again. And we just trust that like, they're awesome enough. I mean, like how many Death Stars have we destroyed, you know? But I also... I enjoyed the style. I enjoyed the
style was fantastic, and I have to say, who is that actor? Paul, the baddie in this one. Paul
yeah,
something.
Paul Bettany.
Paul,
maybe?
yeah, I love him. Like, I love that actor anyway. So I was very
Yeah.
pleased to see him. And I love myself some Amelia Clark. Like, I love her. She's so
And
sexy.
I
but
Donald
the guy, the
Glover.
actor who
He
was
cute
playing
to me.
Solo, the actor who played Solo just couldn't
Right.
carry it at all.
Right. I was like, he
that
was
was sad.
struggling a little bit. He was struggling.
But I will
And
say the thing that has rescued my pop culture experience.
Yeah.
That I just sorry, did I interrupt you?
I'm loving this. I'm like, I definitely think we should, instead of doing a goodbye to people, we should just do like movie reviews.
I know. I mean actually we owe to ourselves and to some of our listeners who've made direct requests some reviews of things that have happened recently, like Dirty Computer, which we don't even have space to actually get into because I haven't gotten to watch Dirty Computer yet. I've only listened to the album. So
Well, maybe that was something we could do together. Is like one of the things we could do during our break is watch it together.
Exactly.
And record that.
And then record that. But I will say the one other recommendation I wanted to make in terms of things that we're watching, I'm almost at the end of the first season of this Netflix Italian show called Sabura, Blood on Rome, which was made it was made as a prequel to an Italian film called Sabura. And it's incredible. It's incredible. So if you are out there in the world, if you are an Italophile, if you love shit that's about like modern day working class Rome, and like then this show is for you, right? It's like it's an incredible show. It's an incredible show. Very violent, so you have to also be into that. But it's an incredible show. It also just got renewed for a second season, which made me so happy.
Are you up on The Handmaid's Tale?
I'm totally up on The Handmaid's Tale.
Okay, great.
I felt like, I know I said this to you, right? That like I felt like The Handmaid's Tale, like every episode of this past season was like, it was like the producers were like, let's think of the most traumatic thing from Autumn's childhood or early adulthood or recent adulthood life and make an episode about it. I was just like, I feel like I need an additional round of therapy just from this past season.
I think that like it's not, I would love to see a survey of like how many people are bringing Handmaid's Tale into their therapy sessions. Like, I also think that they're really designing the second season around like these motherfuckers aren't scared enough about the potential future. And so we just need to turn it up.
See if we can like turn it up and scare them some more.
And I think I'm here for it. I also really think everyone needs to watch Westworld season 2. I feel like
it was incredible.
One of the most brilliant things on television ever of all time. All right. So then the other things that are happening in my house, I'm also on the Carter's album, and I really feel like it's one of those albums like the new Teyana Taylor album, KTSE, that both of them are like, they start off really like, you're just kind of like, this is pretty chill. And then it's like a mood. And they're both like moods that I'm here for this summer. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just like, these two moods work for me. It works on repeat. It feels sexy. It feels kind of bossy and like I know my place.
Let's make love in the summertime.
And but I mean, I love that she goes through that. Like, let's make love in the summertime. Also, I almost killed you, but it's all good. Like I just feel like
I could
just
ruin
like,
your career at any moment.
This is where we are. I've got you on lock. You're happily on lock. This is working for us. Like this power dynamic works for us. So there's something about it that just is really cute. And I'm just out here like, I hope they're taking a break for the summer. And then the
They're not. They're
Taylor
taking a tour.
Is,
they're touring.
All right. They're touring for us. We're going to see them. Well, anyway, in between. So then the other things I'm listening to, the new Kid Cudi and Kanye project, Kids See Ghost, is really good.
Okay.
There's a new album from Likely or Licky Lee. I never know how to say it. Licky Lee.
I think it's Licky Lee. Maybe it's Licky Lee.
That person.
That person should resolve this question for everybody.
They probably are like, I announce it at every show, but no one listens to me. So they have a new album out that's like beautiful. And then Florence and the Machine just dropped a new album.
Really?
And first listen has been like, big, gorgeous, huge, vast sounds. So I'm excited about all those things for the summer. And that's what I want to be listening to. In terms of what I'll be doing, I'm doing these emergent strategy immersions, and the second one is coming up this coming weekend, and it's total like pure experimentation. Like it's just like human beings who are willing to just like see what happens when we get in a room and start playing with emergent strategy. The last one was a blast and a huge learning opportunity, so I'm really excited about this one. And then there's one more. And it just feels like this experiment of like doing more work in Detroit and asking people to like come to Detroit for the work is really working. And I'm feeling like healthier and more rooted and more grounded. And I think the work is benefiting from it. So there's also a somatics course happening in Detroit this summer. So that's like feel your feelings in the sweltering Detroit heat, which I think is great. And
so much possibility for release inside of that.
Exactly. I was like, are these tears? Is this sweat? I don't know.
I can't tell the difference.
Something's happening. I'm almost done with the editing process for Pleasure Activism, which is feeling good.
Great.
And is coming out in February.
I
thought it was like coming out in October, so I've been like busting my butt. I was like, it's coming out in February. Like, let me adjust and make sure that not that there's much that I do. I'm just like, here's the book. But,
right.
The book will be there.
So February 2019 is when we can expect Pleasure Activism to enter the world.
Exactly.
Okay.
Isn't that exciting?
That's actually kind of cute that it's coming out in February.
I know. It's like give it to your boo on Valentine's Day. If you don't do Valentine's Day, just like give it to your boo anyway. So then this book that I contributed to this little workbook that's called Mini Moons. And it's
so
a moon workbook that goes from July through December of this year. So I'm starting today. I'm going to be doing that workbook and really learning as much as I can about moon cycles and how to be in even more relationship with it and doing more spells and more rituals and things like that. And then, as you mentioned, it's going to be sistercation for Beyonce. I'm going on a wocation with my girls, and that's going to be amazing. And then maybe before the next show, I'll be turning 40 years old.
Yeah.
So,
well, and actually, yes, you'll be turning 40 like the week before the episode of our return season drops. And that's so exciting.
Yeah, it feels chill to me. Like I feel like I've been saying I'm 40 for about 3 years now, and I just feel ready.
That's funny because I don't think I've ever heard you say that you're 40.
Really? I've been telling people, I'm like, well, now that I'm 40, you should ask my boo because I'm like, I'm 40. You need to know this. But I feel like
I'm like a 40-year-old actually.
I'm basically 40. And all of my like peers are 40. This like turning 40 has made me realize I'm a little younger than most of the folks that I think of as we're all the same age.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
Which is cool. So that's my summer.
Beautiful.
And both of our summers seem really great.
Yeah. It should be
fun.
Well, and I think it's worth noting too, in the spirit, bringing Chani all the way in the spirit of our shared interest in astrology, that this summer there's a major Mars retrograde happening over the course of the entire summer. And so I'm expecting that to have a pretty significant impact on, my Mars retrograde is going to be very much about sort of like reorganizing how I do my work in the world on a daily basis.
Yeah,
so that's one of the things that I'm thinking about. I'm considering actually going back and purchasing Chani's Mars retrograde class, which just started. And I'm just like, I actually think I should be taking this class this summer because Mars in my natal chart is in Libra, which actually is not, it's not a good sign for Mars to be in.
Dude, I think mine is in Libra too.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's one of the things that we uncovered together. And so it's not the worst.
Dang.
It's just like it's not a great place for Mars to be. And for me, it's in the house that governs like creative practices. And so it feels like a good opportunity for me to be working with like, how is Mars energy showing up in my creative practice right now? So anyway, summers are going to be amazing. We're coming back.
Well, one thing I want to say,
go ahead.
Wait, before we go on is I just want to say, I think it's also going to be a major summer of action. And
yes,
I'm excited about that. Like, I feel like the push to abolish ICE and then just the need for like so many people to be putting our bodies on the line and like causing disruption and slowing down these systems of oppression and slowing down this rising fascism. Like, I just feel like this is a big summer for people to be taking risk, and those risks might be really small. They might be really big. Like, I love that we have a massive call, like abolishing ICE, which is not it's not like ice is very old, but we've come, everything now is in a state of like getting normalized so quickly.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's just a case of being like, no, ice is not normal. The way this is all going down right now is not normal, and continuing to take actions against these abnormal and inhumane behaviors on the part of this government.
And it was so
like
beautiful.
The right thing to do for the summer.
It was so beautiful to see this past weekend, just like the powerful images coming out of the protests happening all over the country, particularly the images of people marching with their children. And
exactly.
I saw multiple images of like friends of mine breastfeeding their children while marching, and like their kids having made their own signs, and like, there's just something really beautiful about, and I know this from just my personal experience about like raising your children inside of movement spaces and giving them an understanding as early on as possible about what the stakes are. And because I do think that there's a way in which if we can avoid our children having delays in understanding what the stakes are,
yes,
we actually have greater hope that we can make progress faster in shifting society, right?
I think so. I think so, because I think it's one of those things. It's like, oh, the stuff that can't fall away in your own life, like, can fall away generationally. Like, it's just like, oh, like, I don't know how to break this habit because it's so in my body. But like, there's always a next generation who's like, I didn't
habituate to that. Yes,
that, so.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's beautiful.
That's great.
So anyway, that's really beautiful. I guess I wanted to just quickly tee up what's coming in the fall.
What's happening?
You can totally go back and listen to our Shitting the Pants episode if you want to get like because that was when we sort of did our initial teaser about what the whole year was going to look like. But in terms of what we have coming this fall, we're going to have a conversation about the impossible things about us, about, personality differences inside of family, inside of relationship. We're going to talk about elections. We're going to talk about how we respond in crisis. We're going to talk about the idea of forming a sanctuary species. We're going to talk about facing death. We're going to talk about love and relationship, race and culture. We're hoping and expecting to do, our both part 2 of the future economics conversation and a part 2 of the Me Too conversation this fall. So stay tuned for all of that. It's all coming your way. We're really excited to pick up recording and pick up our conversations once we've had this delicious summer of sweating and swimming together.
Yes. And I just want to take a moment for our patrons, if that's okay. Because I feel like this has been, this past month has been super exciting. We nearly doubled our number of patrons this month. Because Dory Midnight created this magical tincture for us, the Apocalypse Tincture, Apocalypse Potion. Mm-hmm. And it's so delicious. I've been using it every day, and it's really helping my life. And I'm so excited for all of our patrons to get it. And we just learned that, like, a lot of y'all really like getting free things. Yay.
Yeah.
So
we'll make more of them. It's going to be so. We're excited for
Exactly.
the future fanny pack. That's like
future fanny pack, future t-shirts. Like, we're into it. You can let us know other things that you would really like to have. And we will consider that.
And for folks who are wondering, like, what is the next step in terms of how do I actually get the Apocalypse Potion, we're going to be in touch with all of you, all of our patrons within the next week with instructions as to how to update the system with your address so that we can mail the Apocalypse Potion out to you. So just stay tuned. It's a lot of logistical coordination, but we're on it and we're going to make it happen.
So I think that's all we need to tell these people, right? Are we good?
I think
like,
so.
Do
I
they
think
have
we can
enough
officially go on a break
to get
now.
through a break without us? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go immediately take a cold shower.
Relax. All right. Let's do our credits so that you can go take your shower.
Okay, great. I'm like, it's so hot
Thanks for
here.
listening to our show. It's so hot. We're on Twitter and Instagram at End of the World PC. We're also on Facebook at End of the World Show.
You, all of you, each and every one of you, can make a sustaining donation to our show by visiting our page at patreon.com/endoftheworldshow.
Another incredibly helpful thing you can do to help our show sustain itself is to write us a review on Apple Podcasts if you are an iPhone person. Thank you.
Can people write reviews in other places?
Nobody knows the
like-
answer to this question.
Okay, I feel like wherever you listen, you should just do something that
Do
says,
whatever
yeah.
the thing is.
Right.
maybe SoundCloud. I don't know. That's a good. Like we should.
SoundCloud.
Someone,
I feel like
someone
people could
tell
be
us.
like- I know. I just feel like we're just being like, only Apple people can love us. I'm like, no, I don't think that's true. Anyway, so How to Survive the End of the World is produced and edited by the swagalicious Zach Rosen. Boom, boom. All right.
Boom.
See you later,
Happy summer,
alligator.
All right.
Summer in the city, wonder how we made it through the winter. So hot and humid, but the music gets me through it. Feeling look forward to this way of life. We represent the future. You only see the bad, yeah, shit is real, but we still feel
I woke up to buildings in flames. Am I still in my dream? Rub my eyes, see the reflection off the windows, just a lovely sunrise. The brightest future rays, here to light the future day. On my way to the aisle, playing Nina on the radio dial. Stay for a while, a daydream ablazing to me. About to meet with Shay at the marina around the corner from the Roost Hotel. Think about the schools and jails, what I used to sell. That's why we fighting tooth and nail. We refuse to fail till justice and truth prevail. Set sail, elder sellers about the rum runners, sneaking and booze and ale. Underground railroad, last stop, Detroit River. Escaping the freedom, had to swim across the winter. Can you feel the ancestors in these currents? To swim upstream, it takes vision and endurance. Look at the horizon, sun reflecting off the water surface. Detroit is better made, dog, so I'm sipping on some burners.
Summer in the city, wonder how we made it through the winter. So hot and humid, but the music gets me through it. Feeling look forward to this way of life. We represent the future. You only see the bad, yeah, shit is real, but we still feeling.
Detroit in the summer, it's more than a season. When I moved to the city was the core of the reason. Can I clarify all the distortion you seeing? Gotta break your mind out of prison while the warden is sleeping. Politicians make a fortune by thieving. The air quality since the Model T could shorten your breathing. Follow me to a city where empty lots turn to garden plots. Got alternatives in place so we could disregard the cops. It's still a seedling, but the future the D brings. Getting to the root while you still cutting off the tree limbs. Strengthening the weak links. Brownfields from rotten tires. Sunflowers reaching higher to the tops of Father Deep. Everybody rocks a fitted, but